What's up YouTube, and welcome back to some more of the Touryst. This is an achievement guide for Do It, which requires you to complete all of the to-do list. So this is going to be a pretty long video. There will be timestamps down in the description to help you navigate through this, and I just want to point out that in order to actually complete the game, you need to finish around 70% of the to-do list. If you end up completing the game, you can actually restart from the continue option in the main menu, and you'll start up right before you finish the game, so you can backtrack to do any of the to-do list items that you missed. So let's hop on in and get these done. So our first item is the Monument Cores, and this is basically the main story quest of the game, and what this requires you to do is visit all of the various monuments on the different islands to collect their cores by completing puzzles and boss fights, and then return back to Touryst Island to give the cores to the old tourist in order to unlock the ending for the game. Next up is Picture It, which requires you to take a photo of every single monument in the game. So just as an example, I'm going to take a picture of the Toa monument here on Touryst Island, and what you're going to do is you're going to bring them back to Axel at his shop here on Touryst Island. You can also purchase the camera from him so that you can actually take photos pretty early on in the game. And all you need to do, like I said, is go and get a photo of every monument like I've done here in order to complete this to-do list item. Now we're on to Ybiza, and the first two tasks, Thirst and Get the Fruits, are directly related with each other, and they'll be the first kind of side quests that you do in the game. For Thirst, you need to get a drink for Dave, who operates the elevator for the monument on Ybiza, and in order to do that, you need to go over to the smoothie vendor, who turns out not to have any fruits. So you can find strawberries and melons around Ybiza Island, and just bring them back to the smoothie person so that they can make a smoothie for you to give to Dave. The Let's Play task actually requires you to unlock Hawayy Island first. So what we're going to do is we're going to head to Hawayy Island, and we need to enter the t-shirt store that is here. We're going to have to pay 25 coins for unlimited use. If this is your first time ever going to the shop, you'll never have to pay for it again. And then we can change into a soccer uniform in order to go back to the guy on Ybiza who wants us to play some soccer. Now all you need to do is score 15 goals in under a minute. So you can use the same target on one of these multiple times in order to score a bunch of goals in a row like I'm doing just before it goes down. And that's pretty much it. So just make sure that you're aiming for the targets and you should be fine. If you do mess up and not make the 15 goals in time, you can always just retry. Next up is The Beat Goes On, which requires us to find some music for the party DJ. But first we actually need to get the party poppin'. So what we need to do is head on over to the party that's going on right here on the beach, and we need to turn on all these different lights and plug in the sound speakers and all that kind of stuff, and then we can talk to the DJ, who will admit that he only has one song to play. So now we have to go and find his other 5 songs, and it's actually way easier than you would think. So we need to head over to Leysure Island. Once you arrive on Leysure Island, you just want to head into the record shop, and there's going to be 5 different records that you can purchase. Go ahead and buy all of them, and then bring them back to the DJ, and you will be done with this task. Now we're on to Soggy Island, and the first thing that we need to do is get licensed. This is actually part of kind of the main quest line, so you're going to have to do this anyways, but you do get asked a couple questions that you need to answer correctly. So first off, once we land here on Soggy Island, we want to head over to the monument and talk to the security man, who is going to tell us that we need to get licensed in order to actually enter the area. And then we're going to head up to the Rain lab and answer the scientist's 3 questions in order to get licensed. There are 3 questions in total, and they are always the exact same answers, so you can just follow along with what I answer when questioned by the scientist. The coordinates task is part of the endgame story, and you will get some coordinates along the way, and you'll be able to bring them back to the helicopter operator on this island to take you to a secret area. Next up is Rat Attack, and what we need to do is head to the diamond mines that are on Soggy Island and talk to one of the miners in here who is going to explain to us that they have a bit of an issue with a rat infestation. If you go ahead and help them out with it, you will not only complete your task, but also gain entrance into the actual diamond mine where you can make a lot of money. Basically, you're going to be given 1 minute in order to get all of the rats in the next room down a little drain. You'll need to move a wooden block out of the way, and all you gotta do is corral them in. They will run away from you, so just kind of use that to direction them into the drain. Next, we're going to head to Santoryn Island, and there's going to be an elderly couple just near the monument who will be sitting on a bench, and if you talk to them, they'll ask you for a new exotic location for them to head to. And you can pull out your different travel guides and tell them that they should go to Fijy. They're going to love that idea, and they will go and head to Fijy. And as you can see, I've already helped them out, but once you do that, you will complete your task. But we aren't actually done on this island yet. There is a nightclub on the other side of the island that we're going to head over to that we can't actually get access to because we don't have the right clothing. So we're going to want to head back to Hawayy Island in order to get a different set of clothes from the t-shirt shop to gain access into the club. Now that we've got the correct clothes, we can go ahead and enter the jazz club, and once inside we're going to want to talk to Ella and Duke. They're the only two people inside this club. Pretty awkward. Anyways, what they want is they want to go on a date together, but they're a little bit too nervous to ask each other, and they don't know where to go for that date. So you're going to need to go and take a photo of the art gallery on Leysure Island and bring it back to Duke. Now we are on to Hawayy Island, and we need to break the ice. Pretty much there is an ice cream maker here who makes some pretty interesting flavors and is looking for something a little bit more traditional. So if we go and talk to him, he's going to basically explain to us that he needs something traditional to make. And what we're actually going to grab for him is 3 coconuts. You can get the coconuts out of the trees by running into the trees that actually have coconuts in them, as I'm about to do here. And I'll show you the 3 different tree locations, and then you just need to return the different coconuts to the ice cream man until you've given him 3. We have one more thing to do on this island, and that is win the surf competition. So when you come up to the referee here, the referee is going to explain to you that you can't actually join the surf competition without a pair of shorts. Now, we're not going to purchase them from the t-shirt shop, but instead the man named Enzo, who's standing just outside of the t-shirt shop. He will sell you a pair of shorts for 10 coins, and then you can go ahead and join the surfing competition after you change into them. From there, all you need to do is score 10,000 points while surfing. You can retry as many times as you need to, and I'll see you guys once we're on the waves. So surfing is actually pretty simple. All we're trying to do is stay to the right side of the screen so that we don't get knocked down by the wave, and keep doing tricks at the top of the wave. The tricks can be pretty basic, and what we're trying to do is in the top left hand corner you'll notice that we have a speed meter. The more tricks you do and the more you just kind of stay upright, you'll gain speed, and eventually that will propel you further into the air so you can do bigger tricks like 360 degree turns as well as 540 degree turns. Each of these are going to give you points. Of course, the bigger turns and the bigger jumps give you more points, and that's all you really need to know. Just keep on trying and you'll eventually get to 10,000. Next up, we're heading to Fijy Island, and we're going to do the sound of drums, which requires us to join the dance performance. So if this is your first time entering the island, you will get a cutscene, and then you can go ahead and talk to this dancer, the first one here, who will explain that they are missing their second drummer. You can join in, and then it's just basically a rhythm minigame. You can try as many times as you need to. Before we move on to the monument scrolls, we're going to do the Can You Do the Canoe task, which requires us to complete the canoe test given by the uncle. So what we're going to find is there's two guys hanging out on the beach over in this area past the Monazeum, and they are going to tell us about the canoe test. And we'll have to go and grab their uncle from inside the house that they're standing next to. He'll come outside and we'll do the canoe test, which will then allow us to actually use canoes in other parts of the islands. So now we're going to work on the monument scrolls. There are 7 of them in total, and they are hidden inside of secret caves across the various islands. So the first one that we're going to do, since we're already here on Fijy Island, will be the one here. So just to the right of the Monazeum, you can come over to this area, and you will notice some cracks in a wall. If you run into it, you will break it open, head into the secret cave, and you can pick up a vase that's here in the middle, break it open to get the scroll. Next up, we're going to head to Santoryn Island, and we're going to need to use our double jump in order to make it across, as well as running in order to give us the speed to get across and up to this area. Then just continue double jumping and running until you get to the cracked wall, which you can run into to find the secret cave and get the vase, break the vase open, and get your scroll. Next up, we're on Ybiza, and we're just going to go to the left of the monument right here, and we can run through the cracked wall into the cave, break the vase, and grab your scroll. Next up, we're heading to Hawayy Island, and we're going to need to use one of the canoes, which is why we actually completed the canoe task before we went on to this one, in order to make it all the way over to that monument, and then be able to actually jump up and reach the area that we're going to. Next up, we're heading to Soggy Island, and there are actually 2 of them on this island. The first one we're going to go ahead and use the canoe in order to reach. Now we're back towards the start of Soggy Island, and we want to head into the diamond mine. And what you're going to need to do is complete all 9 levels of the diamond mine, and you will find a secret cave all the way here at the bottom, which you can break into. And finally, we are going to head to Tiny Island, which is a secret island unlocked by finding the 4 messages in the bottles, which are located on the coast of Ybiza, on the coast of the Touryst Island, Soggy Island, and Leysure Island. So once you have all 4 of them, you should be able to head on over to this island here. And then there's actually a second island right across here where our secret cave is going to be. And now that we've gotten all of the scrolls, we're going to return to Fijy Island to give them to the person working at the Museum. Now we're on to Leysure Island, and the first task that we need to do is completing 25 pull-ups. Now, before we can do that, we need to head back to Hawayy Island in order to get a different outfit, and then we can head over to Leysure Island. So as mentioned, you need to complete 25 pull-ups in 20 seconds. If you mess up, you can always just talk to the guy again and try again. After completing the 25, he'll mention that if you can do 35, he'll give you even more money. However, you don't have to do this for the to-do list task. So next up is Faces and Phrases, which requires us to take pictures of a number of different people from the various islands. You can head into the art gallery at Leysure Island to start this quest, and then all you need to do for the first picture is head on over to the main monument on Ybiza and take a picture of Dave, who works at the elevator. Now, you can go ahead and take each of these pictures and return back to the art gallery, or you can just take all 10 of them at once and then trade them in at the art gallery like that. The second picture that we need right there was of the captain of our boat. The third picture, we're heading to Soggy Island, and we're going to go on top of the diamond mine to find the scout who is trying to start a fire. Our fourth person is going to be Claude, who is the scuba instructor here on Santoryn Island. Next up is the ice cream man on Hawayy Island. And after getting his picture, we can actually head on over to the tourist that's reading a book right here and take his picture as well. Then, back on Leysure Island, we want to go ahead and take a picture of Bob, who is standing in front of the micro arcade. Next up is the security man on Soggy Island, so head to the monument just to the left, and you will see the security man who you can take a picture of. On Fijy Island, we want to go ahead and take a picture of the drummer. And finally, if you return to Touryst Island and head all the way to the top of the monument, you can go ahead and take a picture of the construction worker. Now come back to Leysure Island and we're going to head into the art gallery and start trading in all of our pictures, and once you've traded them all in, you will be done with this task. After completing the art gallery, we're going to head to the left side of the island and talk to a little kid in order to start up the to-do list task of a quadcopter race. He's going to give you a bunch of little marks to hit, and all you need to do is fly over them in under a minute. So go ahead and do that. The game gives you some green arrows to tell you what direction you have to move into next. Our final thing to do on Leysure Island is to break Bob's high scores. So Bob is the guy standing outside of the micro arcade. If you talk to him, he'll tell you about his high scores and bet you that you can't beat them. So we're going to head into the micro arcade. That's Bob right there that we just passed by. And you actually need to trade in your coins to get tickets in order to play on the 3 different games here. So the first game here is pretty self-explanatory. The high score is 4,500 and it's just a racing game. You get more points for the further distance you go, and you want to make sure that you're using these little yellow pads to jump and to gain speed and so on, and then just follow the track along. You will get checkpoints as long as you're going fast enough that will increase your time in the top left, and that's pretty much all you need to do. You can retry this as many times as you want as long as you have the tickets until you have beaten his high score. Our next game is Jet Rocket Dynamite, which is a little bit more complex, but it's still really not that difficult. So the high score is 16,750, and what you need to do is you need to use your jetpack to reach all of these pieces of dynamite while watching out for the enemies that are spawning in. You get more points for collecting the dynamite that is on fire before collecting the one that is not on fire. And what you want to try and do towards the end of every level is wait for that little yellow coin to spawn in. What this is going to allow you to do is if you grab it, all of the enemies will be like ghosts, like the Pac-Man game for instance, and you'll be able to actually eat them in order to get 1,000 points from each of them. So right here you can see I'm grabbing them, and actually it's 200 points, not 1,000, don't pay attention to me. And now I can go ahead and finish the level. And you just want to keep on doing that. You have 3 lives, so you can get hit 3 times, and just keep on doing it until you get over 16,750. And just like the previous game, you can keep on retrying as many times as you need to as long as you have the tickets. And finally is Nano Break. The high score is 70,150, and this one is pretty straightforward. All you're doing is using your paddle to bounce the ball and break the cubes. Power-ups will spawn in, they'll give you extra points for collecting them, as well as extending your paddle or slowing down the ball, and so on. And that's pretty much it. You have 3 lives. This is going to take probably the longest out of any of the games in order to actually get up to 70,150, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead to when I've already done that. So right here, as you can see, I've already beaten the high score, and I'm just trying to let the game over in order to complete it. Then we just have to head outside and talk to Bob. And once I talk to Bob, my achievement is going to pop for completing all of the to-do list items, but we still have one more to go. So our last one is called Unknown, and it's the parcel, and what we're going to need to do is head back to Tiny Island. So we're going to head back to Tiny Island, and we want to go inside of the crashed airplane, where we're going to find a vault that we can open using the right trigger and the left trigger. Your controller will vibrate as you unlock the various locks. There's 6 of them in total. You'll have to go back and forth, right and left, and you will get a package out of it, or a parcel, that you can bring to Fijy Island to the museum. Head on inside and give it to the curator here, and you will be all done. That is all of the to-do list entries. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it helped you. If it did, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe for more achievements, trophies, and collectible guides. Also, feel free to check out all of my other guides in the Touryst. Feel free to check out my Fortnite challenge guides if you're into that game, and until tomorrow, ta-ra.